All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep down the modern rabbit hole. This is a place where AI is creating some seriously unsettling art, where government secrets might be hiding in plain sight, and where our entire origin story, well, it might have been written on another planet. Let's get into it.
We are tackling some pretty wild questions today. Is AI actually being used to tear us apart? What in the world is being built underneath the White House? And is it possible humanity's origin story is, literally out of this world? We're going to start with some of these strange digital creations that are really blurring the line between art and something a lot more sinister.
So our first stop is this bizarre and honestly pretty unsettling world of AI-generated art. We're looking at this viral trend of fake Pixar movie trailers. These are videos that use that beloved kind of childlike art style to talk about subjects that are anything but family-friendly.
And the concepts themselves are clearly designed to be shocking. You've got Lou, which frames the George Floyd riots as if it were a Disney movie. You've even got one called Osama, which is pitched as a family-friendly take on 9/11. The real power here is just how jarring it is, right? Using this nostalgic, innocent style to either make light of or sanitize these deeply traumatic events. It really makes you question the intent behind them.
But the theory goes way beyond just some edgy internet humor. Some folks believe this could be a coordinated disinformation campaign. The idea is that foreign bot farms are using AI to generate the most divisive content they can possibly think of, all to stir up racial tensions right here in the US.
And this isn't just limited to movies. We're also seeing these AI-generated toy commercials that feel like they're from some darker parallel universe. So instead of wholesome family fun, you get doom-scrolling Dana, a doll with permanent bags under her eyes, or action figure sets that bring today's political fights right into the playroom. It's just this surreal reflection of our current social climate, where even kids' toys are getting pulled into the culture wars.
So we've seen how AI can create some really unsettling fiction. But what happens when these systems, with all their flaws, are actually put in charge of real-world, life-or-death decisions? Well, that's where things get genuinely dangerous. Get this. In a Baltimore County school, a student finishes football practice and just shoves a bag of Doritos in his pocket. Simple as that. But an AI surveillance system misidentifies the shape of that chip bag as a firearm. It triggers a massive police response. We're talking 8 police cars showing up, and within 20 minutes, that student was facing officers with their guns drawn, all over a bag of chips.
And here's where the story gets really wild. The company behind the technology, OmniAlert, they didn't apologize. They didn't say, oops, our mistake. Instead, they defended it. They claimed the system worked as intended. So in their view, a terrifying false alarm isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's just part of rapid threat identification. And this right here is the crucial debate, isn't it? Do we just accept these terrifying mistakes as the price we pay for security, or are we building a world where technology assumes you're guilty, and maybe even dangerous, until you can somehow prove you're innocent?
Okay, so from flawed algorithms making these huge decisions, we're going to pivot now to the human element, to the secret plans and just eerie coincidences that make some people believe powerful forces are at work just under the surface. And we're going to start with a pretty mysterious project at the White House. There is a $300 million project underway at the White House. Now, the official story? It's a new public ballroom. But conspiracy theorists are looking at who's funding it. When you see names like Palantir and Lockheed Martin, major defense contractors, it leads to a lot of speculation that this isn't for fancy dinners. The theory is that it's actually a high-tech doomsday bunker, a continuity of government facility.
All right, next up is a case of what some people call predictive programming. It's this idea that media is used to introduce concepts to the public before they actually happen. The 1998 film Snake Eyes has a really shocking number of parallels to the real-life assassination of Charlie Kirk. I mean, look at this. The victim in the movie is named Charles Kirkland. He's shot in the neck at a public event, and people even claim a date seen in the film matches the real-world incident. It's uncanny.
And the parallels just keep getting weirder. The movie is supposedly filled with numerology and symbols, but here's the biggest one. The entire plot of the film is about a cover-up. The assassination is blamed on a foreign terrorist to hide a U.S. government conspiracy. And that narrative, it perfectly mirrors the theories that popped up after the real event.
For our final topic, we are leaving earthly conspiracies far, far behind. We're going from secret bunkers to our cosmic origins, to ask a question that could literally reframe all of human history. What if the Garden of Eden wasn't on Earth?
So this theory proposes that humanity's first home, that paradise described in the book of Genesis, was an actual physical place. Not here, but a lush valley on an ancient Mars, way back when the planet had a thick atmosphere, flowing rivers, and a magnetic field to protect it.
Now, proponents of this point to some really fascinating stuff. First, the timeline. Mars was probably habitable long before Earth was. Then there's the geology. The Valles Marineris Canyon on Mars has these branching channels that look a lot like the 4 rivers of Eden from Genesis. And in this version of the story, the fall from grace wasn't about sin. It was a literal fall, a planetary catastrophe that forced our ancestors to flee their dying world and eventually seed life on this one.
And that leads to a pretty mind-bending conclusion. If there's any truth to this theory, it completely reframes our entire exploration of Mars. The rovers aren't looking for little green men. They're doing a kind of cosmic archaeology, searching for the lost, buried history of humanity itself. So whether it's an algorithm designed to provoke us, a secret hiding right under our feet, or a forgotten history on a whole other planet, it feels like the very nature of reality is up for debate. And it leaves us with one critical question. In this age of infinite information and artificial realities, how do we even begin to decide what's actually real?